So speaking of the Ducks, they're going to take off later to, is it today? Take off today at 4 o'clock. Yeah, so we were down in Eugene yesterday and we were talking to Coach Dana Altman. We asked him, how the heck do you get ready for such a great team in North Carolina? He had kind of a funny response. Listen.
What does it take to be a good scout player, Coach?
I wouldn't know. I'm not a good one. I do know the sets and I do know the plays, but the movements are really slow.
Coach gets out there. He's usually the scout team point guard, so so he's running the show for the other team. And no, but it's nice to have him out there and some of the other coaches. Just it just makes you that much more engaged.
Yeah, so the coaches get out there and they serve as the other team for this drill.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
The coach doesn't know. He doesn't know anything.
Well, you've probably seen this, John.
Yes.
They get out of the coaches. Do they do that? They get out on the floor and they're.
Yeah, they get out there.
All right.
They do a little bit of coaching.
They're not dunking on the guys.
No, not doing that. But I peeked my head when they were in Kansas City. They have a curtain that blocks the media from seeing the practices. And Dana Altman's out there, and he's a lot more vocal in practice, as it turns out, than he is with the media in those,
Really?
in those
I'm
interviews.
shocked.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
He comes out of his shell. He's yelling. I want more of that Dana Altman in the news conferences.
That's good.
So.
All right, John Canzano is here. You are headed down to Phoenix tomorrow to cover the Final Four and hopefully the national championship.
Yeah.
This is going to be the toughest game that the Ducks ever. I mean, we thought that about Kansas.
Right.
What do they have to do on Saturday to win?
Well, look, all throughout this tournament, they have acted like it's no big deal. The stage is not too big for them. They were in Sacramento, and I think a less experienced team in Sacramento probably loses that Rhode Island game, probably loses to Michigan and Kansas City. And there's no way a team that was wide-eyed would have gone to Kansas City in front of all those Kansas Jayhawks fans and acted like it didn't matter. So the stage hasn't phased them to this point. So I'm curious, being in that football stadium, if they'll look around and go, oh man, we're in the Final Four. If that's going to be the moment that rattles them. So I think that's an important thing in the beginning of that game.
I guess my fear is they shot the lights out. Absolutely hit everything they threw up, it seemed like, against Kansas. Do they have to do that? Do they have to play that well to beat North Carolina?
I don't think so, but they've got a big problem. Kennedy Meeks is North Carolina's big man. He's 6'9", 260.
Whoa.
And that is a big body in the middle. So Jordan Bell dominated for them in the paint against Kansas and throughout this tournament. I'm curious to see what happens there. I still think I think they need special shooting nights from everybody, like they did against Kansas.
Yeah.
That's where they are. You're playing the best of the best now, and they should be proud to be there, but it's going to take a haymaker to beat North Carolina there.
Let's talk about our other Northwest team, the Bulldogs. The Zags, of course, heading down there as well, playing South Carolina. Any predictions on that game?
I love Gonzaga in that side of the bracket. So I think Oregon, it's on you. We could have an all-Northwest final.
That would be
so
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah, I love Gonzaga. I think South Carolina is a great Cinderella story. They have 10-plus losses. They're not a threat to win this thing. I think they're the least talented team of the four.
See, I think Gonzaga is the Cinderella story if they make it to the finals, to give Few finally a shot at that. I mean, he's been coaching for so many years.
But fast forward to Monday, John. Let's say we do get Oregon and we do get Gonzaga.
Then
What do you think?
Man, I think Gonzaga is going to be a tough matchup for anybody. And I just would love it because everyone thinks of the best college basketball in the country. They think of Duke or North Carolina or Kentucky or Kansas. We could argue after Saturday night that the best college basketball in America is in the Northwest. And the Carolinas are sitting back right now. I know in the Carolinas, if you're a Carolina fan, you're sitting there going, no, it's South Carolina, North Carolina. That's what's at stake on Saturday night.